and beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics.
This is ATN Global News. First, the headlines. APC says Fubara's action fueling impeachment. Zulum advocates revival of Sambisa Forest. Rep. Issa Dogoyaro dies at 46. IMF urges FG to regulate crypto trading. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle arrive in Nigeria. Davido hints on retirement from music. Arteta wants player over Man U clash.
Every day our lives are changing.
And now the rest of our stories. All Progressive Congress has said that the recent utterances and actions of River State Governor Sim Fubara are impeachable. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Felix Moka, stated this on Friday while addressing a press convention in Abuja. He stressed that Fubara's weaponization of demolition of public assets as a strategy to dislodge and punish legitimate members of the legislature was nothing short of petty despotism and must be roundly condemned. Moka stressed that the governor's attack on the House of Assembly and its leadership was a flagrant disrespect of order of courts of law and a violent violation of the expression provision of the Constitution. He stressed that the governor was actively and vehemently precipitating his own impeachment through his actions, conduct, and infernal comments. Moka stressed that the House of Assembly is a creation of the Constitution and vested with the legislative authority of the state, saying that the members of the Assembly were elected by the people of Rivers State in the same manner that Fubara was elected governor. About 30 armed policemen have taken over the entrances of the House of Assembly quarters located along Abdiaba Road, Port Harcourt. It was gathered that both the first and second gates of the lawmakers' estate were safeguarded by the police with about 30 petrol vans used to block the entrances. The development came shortly after the Martins Amewude-led House of Assembly claimed that the governor was planning to demolish the quarters following his recent surprise visit to the facility. But the governor, Simeon Fubara, had explained that his visit to the estate on Thursday was harmless. It was learned following the alarm raised by Mehule. The anti-Fubara lawmakers, including some chieftains of the All Progressive Congress, kept vigil around the estate till daybreak. Armed policemen were seen barricading the gates on Friday to secure the facility. Analysts have called on political predecessors to lead exemplary roles with integrity in assuring a more better way of setting political rift between their successors. Ugochukwu Oputa, a political analyst on Atlantic Television, expresses views as regards the lingering political feud in the state.
As a predecessor, there's how you could approach matters, of someone you brought into power, not a case where the first point of call would be maybe to look at immediate removal of a government that has not even lasted for almost for up to a year. And I think it's that line we can use in judging.
In view of good governance, Judge Chinda emphasized on the need for Governor Fubara to heed Syriac Dixie's advice.
And as an elder, he understands that people have laid foundation from 1967 when the state was created to this day. So with what is happening today, if the crisis is not nipped in the bud, it's clearly we erode every gains made all these years. It will affect the foundation of the state. So what the man has done is to call for peaceful resolution of whatever issues. For me, practically, it's like Governor Sim. Yes, it is God that gave you power, but people made it happen. Reconcile your differences with the minister.
Recall that Governor of Bayelsa State warned Fubara not to forget the human machinery that helped him take over the office of the #1 citizen of the oil-producing states. Bayelsa State, analysts blames delayed salaries on weak structures. Analysts have blamed the recurring delay in payment of civil staff salaries across the country on weak institutions of government. A political analyst, Eki, emphasized on the need for a more restructured government institutions in all states of the Federation.
I want to plead that most of the times when these things, erupt, is because of a system that is weak. Because if the system, the process of recruitment is sincere from the very beginning, you wouldn't be coming up with, we have ghost workers, we want to check who is actually a government worker or not. Because from the very beginning, you compute your system, you make it in a way that if you weren't, rightly employed, you will not be employed. So your name will not even be in the government pay.
Meanwhile, Jamala Gifton warned against political compensations in the civil service.
Political appointees or elected office holders have a way of compensating their followers at the grassroots. And some of these compensations come through the local government, which is the nearest to the grassroots. And government, in this instance, I don't want to believe, but I'm thinking that the essence of this so-called verification exercise has to do with weeding out those political appointees that were carried out by the previous local government administration. And they want to maybe, because this set of persons have to finance their loyalties at the very...
Recall that recently the civil servants in Bayelsa State expressed grievances about delayed salary payments in the state. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obuwari Friday said, where male championship candidates emerge from the local government's party primaries, the vice chairman must be a woman for gender balancing. Governor Obuwari also directed that at least 3 female councillors must emerge from each of the local governments across the state. The governor handed down the directive at a meeting of leaders, elders and stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party Delta North Senatorial District held at Orchid Hotel, Asaba. The governor, who expressed appreciation to the leaders and other stakeholders of the party in Delta North Senatorial District, commended them for always showing good examples, as well as for his significant contribution to the party's winning streak. According to him, the Delta North Senatorial District gave him 100% votes because he won on all local government areas in the district. Operatives of Uyo Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested 21 suspect internet fraudsters in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. The suspected cyber criminals were arrested at different locations within Akwa Ibom State. While 5 of the suspects were arrested at Laundry Lounge, a wet housing estate, Uyo, on Monday, May 6, 2024, 16 others were arrested on Tuesday, May 7, 2024, at Church Road, off Calabar Itu Road, Uyo. Items recovered from them include 2 luxurious cars, 9 laptops, 28 smartphones, and 2 wristwatches. The EFCC says the suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigations have been concluded. Operatives of the Benin Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 39 suspected internet fraudsters in the state. The commission, in a statement on Friday, said the suspects were arrested at different locations within Benin City. The arrest followed actionable intelligence on the suspected involvement in computer-related fraud. Items recovered from them include 8 exotic cars, 2 Mercedes-Benz, 2 Lexus, Toyota Camry, laptops, and phones. The anti-graft agency added that they will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Joint Military Task Force in the Niger Delta, codenamed Operation Delta Safe, with headquarters in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, has destroyed over 40 illegal refining sites in Oka Forest of Abia State. The task force said he also discovered and destroyed over 17 clusters with different names, with each of the clusters having a cooking sections. The commander, OPDS, Rear Admiral John Okeke, who led the operation, said that over 40 sites operating in the area were refining stolen crude oil siphoned by suspected oil thieves. Okeke reminisced that on the assumption of office on February 15, 2024, he made it abundantly clear that the joint operation area of the Operation Delta Safe would never be a safe haven for illegality, especially those criminals that had chosen to be stealing the country's crude oil. The OPDS commander said that for those who don't know the challenges the GTF is encountering in its operations, even when the troops have access to overflying, that certainly will not pick the illicit activities going on. Lagos State Police Command has detained a police officer for failing to maintain professionalism during a confrontation with a citizen. According to a statement released by the State Police spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, although the officer showed restraint most of the time, he allowed his emotions to cloud his judgment on a couple of occasions. He added that the officer has been taken into custody for appropriate disciplinary actions. According to the report, the incident involved Aderele Aisha, who drove against traffic and allegedly assaulted the officer, behaving in a disorderly and unruly manner. Daniel Ojukwu, a journalist with the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, abducted by the intelligence response team of the Inspector General of Police, has regained freedom. FID disclosed this on website that Ojukwu regained freedom on Friday after 10 days in police custody. Ojukwu was said to have gone missing last Wednesday and could not be reached as his numbers were switched off and his whereabouts unknown to colleagues, family, and friends. 24 hours after he went missing, FIG made a missing person report at police stations in the area where Ojukwu was headed. In efforts to know his whereabouts, a private detective hired by FIG tracked the last active location of his phones to an address in Isheri Olofin, a location FIG now believes was where the police originally picked him up. Ojukwu's family consequently knew about his detention at Panti, where they were made to understand the authorities were accusing him of violating the 2015 Cybercrime Act. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration and Clinical Services of the Ondo State-owned University of Medical Services, Ondo Town, Ondo State, Professor Adolphus Lotto, has been sacked. This was contained in a statement issued by the Assistant Registrar Public Relations Unit of the institution, Temitope Oluwatayo. Oluwatayo said the sack followed the adoption and ratification of the Senate decision by the Governing Council at its 22nd statutory meeting held at the Council Chamber Medical Village Campus, Ondo. According to him, the decision of the Senate was predicated on the former DVC's unbecoming conduct, including frivolous, spurious, and unsubstantial allegations against the university management. Oluwatayo added that the Governing Council thereafter approved the resolution of the University Senate for the removal of Professor Adolphus Odogun Lotto as DVC. President Bola Tinubu on Friday conferred the second highest national honor of Grand Commander of Order of Niger on the Awajale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru at Daytona, for his immeasurable and invaluable contribution to national development. Tinubu gave the honor of at the 90th birthday ceremony of the paramount ruler held at the Oba Sikiru at Daytona School of Governors, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago Iwoye, Ogun State. The president, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, also announced that the National Institution of Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Jos, has been directed to take over the management of Oba Sekiru at Daytona School of Governance, which the royal father bequeathed to the university. The president described Awojale as an extraordinary royal father and hero of Nigeria democracy, who is adored all over the country for his sincerity of purpose and encouraged to face any adversity threatening national development. Ebonyi State Governor says it has declared the second tranche payment of gratuities for retirees civil servants from 1996 to 2023, totaling over 5 billion naira. The State Governor, Francis Wifuru, approved a sum of 1.6 billion naira for the exercise. The committee in charge of the exercise concluded payment of the backlog on Thursday. This is contained in a statement issued on Friday by the Governor's Special Assistant on New Media, Leo Oketa. Those who received their gratuities included those in the spillover list of retirees from the initial payment 1996 to 2021 and retirees from 2022 to 2023. Bandits stormed the Confluence University of Science and Technology, or SARA, Okene in Kogi State, and kidnapped some students. According to reports, an eyewitness said the bandits swooped on the university while the students were reading for their upcoming exams. The source said that the bandits came in through the bush, went into 3 lecture halls and began to shoot into the air to scare the students. According to the source, the students were preparing for their examination, for their first semester examination, expected to commence on Monday, May 13th, while the bandits struck. A student who craved an immunity said that he and some colleagues ran to the bush and hid there for more than an hour when contacted. COSTECH Vice Chancellor Professor Abdularam Asipita confirmed the incident but refused to give details of the number of students abducted. Efforts to reach the Commissioner of Police in Kogi, Bertrand Onuoha, were not successful. The State Security Advisor, retired Kader Jerry Omodara, could equally not be reached for comments as calls to his lines were not answered nor returned. Government of Kogi State has vowed that the abducted students of Confluence University or the Science and Technology, or SARA Okene, would be rescued alive. Bandits on Thursday night invaded the institution and abducted some students. Also, an eyewitness account has it that the bandits swooped on the university around 9 p.m. while the students were reading for the upcoming exams. Reacting in a statement by Kingsley Femi Fanwo, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, the state government said they were on top of the situation. Governor Ododo has also directed that security agents be posted around all tertiary institutions in the state. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has lambasted the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, accusing him of attempting to truncate the criminal case that was initiated against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The court, in the ruling that was delivered by Justice Emeka Nwite on Friday, restated the order it made on April 17th, which directed security agencies to arrest and produce him before he to answer to the 19-count charges that is pending against him. According to the court, the former governor, by briefing lawyers to challenge his jurisdiction to try him while he remained in hiding, showed that he has no atom of respect and regard for the court. He held that Bello's decision to file the application is clearly showing his intention not to present himself for trial, stressing that he ought to have made himself available upon becoming aware of the order of arrest that was issued against him. Justice Wite held that Bello's decision to treat the order of the court with levity was previously condemned by the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, on Friday finally agreed to submit himself to the Federal High Court in Abuja for arraignment on June 13th in the corruption charges against him. Bello's led counsel, Abdulwahab Mohammed, gave the understanding to Justice Emeka Nwite on Friday, shortly after the request for suspension of trial that the defendant was rejected by the court. The senior lawyer claimed that the former governor was not afraid of arraignment, but safety of his life in the hands of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja. He said that the life of his clients has been under consistent threats in Abuja, hence his decision to go underground for safety. The agreement to submit to court trial was informed by the remarks of Justice Wite that EFCC, as a law-abiding body, will not do anything against the provisions of the law. The judge said that Bello was not the first former governor to be merely invited by the anti-corrupt agency and would not be the last. Firefighters from Kwara State Fire Service saved a petrol filling station from a major fire disaster in Ilorin, the state capital. At about 23 hours, fire gutted 8 shops adjacent to the road Real Gold Petroleum Filling Station at Okioba, Okombari Street in Abayowo area of Ilorin. But the swift response of the firefighters saved what could have resulted in a major disaster in the area. Spokesman of the fire service, Hassan Adekunle, in Ilorin on Friday said, upon arrival, firefighters found 8 shops engulfed in flames. Despite the severity of the blaze, the courageous firefighters valiantly battled the inferno, gaining control at 8:34 hours and extinguishing it thereafter. Regrettably, all 8 shops suffered extensive damage. Hassan said investigations revealed that the fire originated from one of the shops in close proximity to a store selling engine oil and other flammable fluids. exacerbating the intensity of the flame. Prince Palade John Olumuyiwa, director of the State Fire Service, extended his sympathies to the victims of the fire, expressing hope for the swift recovery and restoration of what was lost. You're watching the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. This is the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. 6 Amalgiri pupils have lost their lives due to a suspected meningitis outbreak in Udobo village in the Gambawa local government area in Bauchi State. Chairman Caretaker Committee of the local government, Nasiru Bakura, confirmed the deaths to journalists on Friday. This came following reports on social media claiming that about 15 people have died from the suspected outbreak. Bakura revealed that the 6 people died in 3 different Sangana schools, all located in the Udobo town of Gambawa local government area. The chairman emphasized the seriousness of the situation and urged the public to take preventive measures. A public health expert in Bauchi, Dr. Hassan Shaibu Musa, that meningitis is a serious infectious disease that affects the meninges, with bacteria meningitis being the most prevalent form. He explained that meningitis is a vaccine-preventable disease and urged parents to ensure their children vaccinated to be immunized against it. Deaths rising from outbreak of measles in Adamawa State have risen to 49. This came to legit as government officials gave update on efforts to curtail the disease as the World Health Organization addressed newsmen in Yola on factual reporting standards. During the World Health Organization media orientation engagement at the World Health Organization State Office in Yola, the Adamawa State epidemiologist Kadabiyu Jones said 49 deaths have been recorded so far and 143 cases of the of 818 suspected measles cases confirmed positive. He said the affected persons were children between 1 and 14 years, most of them not previously vaccinated. He confirmed the state had deployed surveillance personnel to track the outbreak and that it is working hard to ensure all vulnerable groups are captured within the ongoing reaction vaccination exercise. Niger State Police Command has arrested 5 suspects allegedly involved in thuggery and armed robbery at the Maitibu area of Mina, the state capital. The command, through the public relations officer SPYSU Abiodu, disclosed this in Mina while parading the suspect. The suspects include Saifalahi Mohammed, Nasifu Basiru, Nura Basiru, Ifeanyi John, and Ludu Haruna, all of Maitimbi Munya. According to him, the arrest is in continuation of the ongoing raid of the criminal hideouts in Mina and its environs. He said some dangerous weapons used in robbing other victims of the valuables were recovered, including 1 cutlass, 3 knives, 3 scissors, suspected Indian ham, cigarettes and lighters, charms, phones, and some money. The PRO further disclosed the suspect was soon transferred to SCID Mina for further investigation and prosecution as investigation is concluded. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Taraba State Command, paraded 3 suspected armed robbers. The suspects, who were on Friday paraded at the State Command headquarters of the NSCDC in Jalingo, the state capital, were said to have been arrested around the School of Nursing and Midwifery in Jalingo Metropolis, following a tip-off by some Good Samaritans. Parading them, the state commandant Adamu Salihu identified the suspect as Mustafa Abubakar, 30, Suleiman Bello, 39, and Aliyu Abubakar, 27. Items said to have been recovered from the suspect, as revealed by the commandant, are 2 television sets, 12 wrappers, 6 Android phones, 1 iPhone, and 1 keypad phone. The suspects, the commandant said, admitted to have broken into 2 different houses during the robbery. He called on the general public to remain security conscious, particularly now that the entire state has been plugged into darkness for the past 2 weeks. Troops of the Operation Hiding Kai of the Nigerian Army have killed 6 fighters of the Islamic State of West African Province during a raid of a notorious enclave in Goniri, Damboa local government area of Borno State. This was made known by Zankoza Makama, a counterinsurgency expert and security analyst in Lake Chad, via a post on his X handle on Friday. Makama said the feat was recorded when the troops of 81 Division Task Force Battalion stormed the terrorist enclave in collaboration with civilian Joint Task Force on Thursday. The security expert added that intelligence sources told him that the troops also successfully cleared Woma Mashi and Kodo and destroyed structures of the terrorists. Borno State Governor Babangida Omara Zulum has advocated for the revival of the Sambisa forest, which is affected by the over a decade-old Boko Haram insurgency. Zulum was speaking in New York at the UN's high-level segment roundtable on forest-based solution to the triple plenary crisis, a focus on people, science, technology, and finance. The governor said Borno State has been significantly impacted by the crisis of insecurity caused by Boko Haram insurgency, which has led to widespread displacement of communities, destruction of infrastructure, and loss of livelihood. Governor Zulum noted that the shrinking of the Lake Chad, which is a vital source of water and livelihood for millions of people in the region, has been a direct consequence of climate change resulting from the incessant destruction of forests such as Sambisa. According to the governor, deforestation in Borno State has been driven by a combination of factors, including population growth, agricultural expansion, unsustainable land use practices, a need for energy, and the impact of the conflict. Yobe State House of Assembly has asked the executive arm of government to assist kidney transplant patients in the state. The House made the call in a motion of urgent public importance moved by the members representing Machina, Damataru, Central, Bade West, and Mamudu constituencies, Nasiru Hassan Yusuf, Mohammed Isaac Bellu, Kachala Ajiya Maina, and Sanda Kara Bade. The legislators, who spoke at length on the increasing number of the kidney transplant patients in the state, stressed the need for government, philanthropists, and other donor agencies to support them in procuring the drugs. The lawmaker said kidney transplant patients permanently survive on drugs which are expensive and need assistance considering the economic hardship in the country. Supporting the motion, the lawmakers representing Guja, Jakuso and Basari constituencies Balama Baku, Adamu Dala Dogo and Babagida Zana, among others, described the motion as one of the very important ones that needs the government's quick response. Presiding over the sitting, the Speaker of the House, Chiroma Buba Mashio, assured that the House will collaborate with the executive arm of government to ensure a lasting solution to the incidence of kidney disease in the state. People Democratic Party in Yobe said it has resolved not to participate in the state 25th May 2024 local government elections. The party's state organizing secretary, Mohammed Suleiman, disclosed these at a press briefing on the development held in the Maturu. He said the decision not to partake in the upcoming election followed the consultation. The organizing secretary accused the State Independent Electoral Commission of deliberately refusing to notify political parties in the state about the schedule of activities with respect to the upcoming election. Recall that the Yobe State Independent Electoral Commission has slated the 25th of May 2024 as a date for the conduct of local government councils election. Kano State Police Command has arrested one Sadiq Zabiru, who killed his friend Bello Adam over his failure to help the victim secure a job after receiving the sum of 3 million naira. Zabiru had promised the late Adam, who was his former colleague at the Kano Electricity Distribution Company, to help him secure a job at the Federal Inland Revenue Service. According to a family source quoted by the security analyst and counterinsurgency expert Zagazola Makama, tweeted on Friday. In a statement, the State Police Public Relations Officer Haruna Abdullahi noted that on May 5, 2024, the command received a report from the deceased brother who said Adam left home with his car while his whereabouts is unknown. The said PPRO added that during preliminary investigation, the suspect confessed that he conspired with 2 others and jointly lured the victim to his house, who until his death were intimate friends. He narrated that he tied him up and hit him with sticks and sharp iron on his head and other parts of his body until he became motionless. Troops of the Nigerian Army deployed for counter-terrorism operation in Kaduna State in a daring response to actionable intelligence have neutralized some terrorists and thwarted the activities of violent extremists and abduction of farmers in Giwa local government area of the state. The operation, which targeted the terrorists' stronghold in Basafe village southeast of Kadandan, was conducted after intelligence confirmation that the terrorists were using the village as the administrative refuge. As troops approached the village, they were met with an ambush, but the troops with tactical prowess fought their way through, forcing insurgents to scatter in various directions. In the heat of the confrontation, troops spotted some of the terrorists attempting to escape the area on motorbikes and effectively engaged them, neutralizing 2 terrorists. The valiant troops also captured 2 AK-47 rifles, 3 magazines, and a motorbike. In a statement, the Army noted that the dislodgement led to seizure of a semi-automatic pump-action rifle, 16 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, an improvised explosive device, 2 Belfan communication radio sets, and a bag containing medical supplies, tobacco hand gloves, and face masks. Zamfara State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aisha MZ Anka, has confirmed the outbreak of an unknown disease in the state. This was contained in a statement issued by the spokesman of the ministry, Ibrahim Bello Boko, and made available to newsmen in Gusau, the state capital. The statement said that the illness is characterized by abdominal distension, accumulation of fluid in the abdomen, enlarged liver and spleen, fever and generalization body weakness. The statement further said the ministry also will continue to update the general public and all relevant esteemed partners on any new findings as soon as possible. You are watching the Global News and Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. This is a Global News and Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has assured that Nigerians will soon achieve food sufficiency, saying his programs and projects are working out to ensure that this is achieved. The president, who stated this during the groundbreaking ceremony of the 84-kilometer Bida to Mina Road in Kakabagi, Kacha local government area of the state, called on state governors to key into his administration's agricultural revolution and plan on food security. According to him, if the state governors can adopt this, it would relieve the citizens of the current hardship that they are experiencing and ensure that they have sufficient food. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said his campaign promises to make Nigeria self-sufficient was being fulfilled despite enormous challenges. He commended the several development initiatives embarked upon by the Niger State Governor, saying that the development strides of the governor are in line with the charges he gave to subnationals to support the federal government in ameliorating the challenges facing the people. Member representing the Baru Bagaki Federal Constituency of Jigawa State in the 10th Assembly of the House of Representatives, Honorable Issa Dagunyaro, is dead. In a statement signed by the House spokesman and chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Rep. Akin Rotimi Jr. on Friday, the National Assembly said he died after a brief illness. Elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, Honorable Dagunyaro was known for his integrity, diligence, and unwavering dedication to the welfare of the Nigerian people. His presence will be sorely missed in the hallowed chambers of the House of Representatives. Details of his funeral arrangement will be communicated in due course. House of Representatives has resolved to conduct a holistic investigation into the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Missions abroad. The resolution by the Green Chamber was sequel to a motion of urgent public importance by Honorable Ben Atabene, Delta. The member noted that despite of the efforts by the federal government, Nigerians around the world are faced with lots of challenges. He observed that many Nigerian students are stranded in foreign land over issues that could be resolved, as well as many Nigerians own businesses around the world helping in contributing to the economy of those countries and sending remittance back home as suffering harassment and sabotage. Honorable Etsana Bene revealed that the Committee on Foreign Affairs had received several complaints regarding issues of employment in the ministry and missions, appointment postings, redeployment, and disciplinary issues that affect morals and service delivery, as well as image of Nigeria as a nation.
Aware that the government has set in motion reforms for effective service delivery in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, parastatals, and the missions. Further aware that government has put in place a clearly defined foreign policy of trust, of democracy, development, demography, and diaspora, known commonly as the 4 Ds, to usher in a new foreign policy focus for the country. Concerned that the House has taken several steps to ensure that the reforms and policy trust comes to fruition for the good of our country. And in spite all efforts of this House, Nigerians around the world are faced with challenges in consular services across our missions. Further concerned that many Nigerians are illegally held or imprisoned in foreign countries and often under harsh conditions that may lead to loss of lives if urgent actions are not taken. Convinced that many Nigerian students are stranded in foreign lands over issues that can be resolved, and that many Nigerians own businesses around the world helping to contribute to the economy of those countries and sending remittances back home, they are suffering harassment and sabotage.
Honorable Benedict Otanabene, Federal Lawmaker, Delta State. The House adopted the motion when put to voice vote and referred the matter to the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. The committee was further mandated to report back within 3 weeks. Chief Magistrate Court, Wuse Zone 6, has summoned 2 social media users for criminal defamation of socialite Dorcas Adeyinka. In the court summons, dates May 9, 2024, cited by our correspondent, Chief Magistrate Emmanuel Iyana ordered the 2 defendants, Tolulope Adoye, aka Abinke Jagaban, and Tolulope Adebami, aka Olowosibi, to appear in person before the court on June 4, 2024, to answer the charges levied against them by the complainant. In a criminal complaint filed by the complainant's lawyer, led by Pelumi Olajebasi of Abuja-based law firm Law Corridor, the complainant accused the defendants of sharing a nude photo on social media and ridiculed her. These actions expose the complainant to contempt, hatred, and detestation, as some people can be seen making despairing remarks against a person of the complainant in the comment section of the above referred post. This allegation had been made without any evidence or connection linking the complainant to the demise of Folonsho Asimuyu, the complainant partly read. He adjourned the matter out of June 4, 2024 and ordered that the two defendants were present in court on the said day. Coalition of Civil Society Organization has petitioned the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and House of Representatives Committee on Human Rights against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the alleged attack on protesters at the Commission's headquarters a week ago. Earlier, there were anti-Yahaya Bello protesters at the headquarters of the Anti-Graft Agency located at Jabi, Abuja, with various placards containing various inscriptions. They were calling on the Commission not to rescind its decision to arrest and prosecute the former governor, urging that dropping in case would portray the country and the agency in a bad light. Reacting, the CSOs in a 4-page petition co-signed by Dr. Clement Nduka, convener, Coalition of Civil Society Organization in Nigeria, and Richard Otitoloke, Director of Operations, said a panel of inquiries should be set up to look into the ugly trend with a view to recommend punitive measures for whoever that erred on the matter. Other demands included in the petition addressed to the Chairman, Senate Committee on Human Rights, National Assembly, where that the committee should invite the Chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyode, to appear before it to answer to the issue raised. Former President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, has called for the recalibration of the nation's education system to focus more on technology and innovation. Jonathan made the call during the Founders' Day colloquium to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Ibadan University, established on May 10, 1999 as Nigeria's premier private university. The former president described the focus on acquiring only certificates as damaging to the economy. He stressed that the attitude should be discouraged by emphasizing knowledge and skill acquisition to produce graduates that would pilot the economy. According to him, Nigeria needs to recalibrate its educational system right from the primary school level to produce people who are technically savvy to pilot the economy. More inmates from the Suleja Correctional Center who fled the facility after a torrential rainfall and storm pulled down the prison structures and its perimeter fence have been recaptured. Minister of Interior Olabunmi Tunji Ojo revealed this shortly after visiting Kunje Correctional Center and the Federal Fire Training Institute in Sheda, Abuja. The minister, who declined revealing the number of the recaptured inmates due to security reasons, assured that the security agencies are on top of their beats and will recapture the remaining ones. He said his ministry has been undertaking different projects to ensure the safety and security of the nation's custodial center, while detailed attention is being provided to other issues in the ecosystem.
What we're about to do here is arguably the best and the most sophisticated fire academy in West Africa. And by the grace of God, on the 28th of May, we'll be having the groundbreaking, and we have a completion period of just 1 year to be able to deliver it. We are bringing down a lot of projects here, and we're erecting modern fire academy that is that can be compared, to the best you can get anywhere in the world. Because as I've always said, fire service is not just a profession of choice. It's a mandatory profession that we must encourage in our society. The first priority of government is to secure lives and property. And one of the biggest threats to security of lives and property is fire. And obviously fire service as well. It's not just about fire. It's about rescue service, being first responders in case of emergencies. And we believe that the potential for the industry is so massive, and that has really been tapped. So the next 1 year, by the grace of God, we are poised towards making sure that we bring out the very best out of the industry, out of this profession, and we make it a profession of envy, and also be able to create a facility where we will not just be able to meet our local training demands, but we'll be able to even export training and make this, a facility of pride to Nigeria.
Mr. Olupumi Tunji Ojo, Minister of Interior, the inmates fled the facility late at night due to torrential rainfall and storm, which pulled down the prison structure and its perimeter fence. A week later, about 19 of the fleeing inmates were recaptured by security forces at different locations. The minister also told journalists that President Bola Tinubu would, on May 28, perform the groundbreaking ceremony of several projects at the National Fire Academy, Sheda, in Abuja.
We made it a priority, and we also thank Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the intervention fund that he provided, for us to be able to achieve this. As you can see, the perimeter fencing is completed. What we're just doing is to be able to, we're putting solar light across on both sides of the fence to provide illumination, to provide light, and to secure this place. So basically, it's not just about Kuje. I am happy to tell you that about 9 of our correctional centers too, we are working to rehabilitate. Even the Suleja, I need to mention that the Suleja Correctional Center, that the work came down, that it wasn't because we were not doing anything, because that most people didn't understand that before the work came down, that we had already started making the walls, rebuilding the wall. But because it's a correctional center, we can't break all walls at the same time. We have to segmentize it. Yes, we have recaptured a lot of people, and work is actually going on. And we're working with other sister agencies, but the details of that I won't be able to disclose in front of camera for security reasons, not to jeopardize the hard work that our men in uniform are presently putting in. But Nigerians can be rest assured, it's not going to be business as usual. It's business.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala said 8 elite Nigerian Navy warships and 2 helicopters have left the country's shores to combat sea piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The maritime security operations will encompass anti-crude oil, anti-sea piracy, anti-sea robbery, and anti-fishing, as well as boarding and area operations, amongst other activities. Vice Admiral Ogara, who disclosed this to newsmen during the flagging of exercise Obangeme Express 2024 in Onne River State on Friday, said the deployment was a global joint naval operation. Ogala, who was represented by the Navy's Chief of Training and Operations, Rear Admiral Olusegun Ferreira, also said the Naval Special Boat Service Special Forces would participate in the week-long exercise. He stated that Nigeria is committed to working with the Gulf of Guinea nations on the anti-piracy mission aimed at securing the maritime environment of the region to promote economic activities. Following the controversy surrounding the proposed cybersecurity levy, the National Association of Nigerian Students has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to sensitize the general public to better understand the policy. Recall that the CBN had in a circular directed banks to charge 0.5% on some transactions. However, the policy generated controversies, with some citizens calling for its suspension, citing the nation's present economic crisis. But in a statement issued on Friday by its president, Comrade Lucky Emonefe, NAN said the Apex Bank's decision will help tackle the threat in Nigerian cyberspace. He ever urged the CBN to engage stakeholders and other citizens to explain its intention. National Human Rights Commission on Friday advocated for the enactment of strict legislation that would ban cultism in all institutions of learning in the country. The Commission, while presenting its dashboard on human rights abuses for the month of April, however stressed that such legislation should be made in a way that will not affect the right of students to form associations that promote mutual coexistence and intellectual curiosity. Presenting the human rights scorecard to newsmen in Abuja, the Hilary Obona, who is a senior special assistant to the executive secretary of the commission, Chief Tony Ojoku, cried that no fewer than 20 cultism-related deaths were recorded in 3 states of the Federation in the month under review. He bemoaned that cultism, especially in higher institutions of learning, has remained a long-standing menace in the society. He stressed that activities of the cult groups rooted in violence, intimidation, criminal behavior, and other bizarre and illegal activities are not only pose a grave threat to peace and security, but also pose a significant challenge to the enjoyment of fundamental human rights in the affected communities. The NHRC, he said, is committed to addressing the issue with a firm commitment to protecting and promoting human rights. Now, business news. Analysts have condemned the recent hike in electricity tariff, describing it as a cankerworm in the economy. Stephen Akirika, a public affairs analyst, stated that the hike in electricity tariff does not encourage economic growth and is needless to compare to the current electricity supply rates.
Nigerians are going through. There should not be a hike in electricity. And at least because, first of all, are we really enjoying the fairness of it? And to its maximum pace, it moved from NEPA to power holding, and now it has been privatized. So why the hike? And we look at there are so many issues surrounding this process. Now they are still increasing. There's an inflation in in the cost of tariff and all that when it comes to the electricity. Now,
Stephen Akirika urged the NLC to be prompt in the approach to tackling the electricity tariff to the normal.
Power holding, first of all, NLC action is right, because if they should look at, they should be prompt in their dealings, like the hike that they've issued. NLC should that 7 days. To me, I think if they should even reduce it to, yes, it should. For Canada, after what makes an area to be an urban settlement is electricity and road. So whereby there is lack of electricity, or whereby there is hike of electricity, and it causes maybe lack of, it's causing a lacuna.
Recall that the Nigerian Labour Congress has issued a 7-day ultimatum for the reversal of the recent hike in electricity tariffs across the nation. National Identity Management Commission says it has recorded 107,338,044 in the ongoing enrollment of the National Identity Number. Director General of the Commission, Odusote Koka, disclosed this in Abuja at a press briefing where she announced her achievements in the last 1 year in office. According to her, the figure was increased by 3.2 million from 104 million in December 2023 to 107 million as of today. She said the commission under her supervision had attained the milestone not only in the enrollment process but also in easing the process, cleaning up the system, deploying latest technology to upgrade their aging equipment, upscaling capacity of staff, and clamp down on scammers and extortionists. With the ongoing increase in enrollment centers and 3,656 staff, Odusote said she is targeting 200 million enrollees. International Monetary Fund has advised the Nigerian government to ask global crypto trading platforms to register or obtain licenses before operating in the country. The recommendation was made in the IMF latest staff report released on Thursday following the conclusion of its 2024 Article 5 consultation. According to the report, compelling global crypto trading platforms to register will subject them to regulatory requirements. The IMF emphasized the need for Nigeria to establish a robust regulatory framework to oversee the growing cryptocurrency market, ensuring financial stability and protecting investors. It ordered that the move aligns with global efforts to standardize cryptocurrency regulations and prevent illicit activities. The IMF also noted that Nigerian authorities took significant steps early in the year to address issues surrounding cryptocurrency trading platforms. Britain excited to shallow recession with a better than expected growth in the first quarter. Official data showed Friday in a boost to embattle Prime Minister Rishi Sunak ahead of this year's election. Gross domestic product expanded 0.6% in the first 3 months of this year, the Office for National Statistics said, noting stronger growth in service industries and car manufacturing. That beat market expectation of 0.4% and marked the strongest performance since the fourth quarter of 2021, helping send London's stock market to yet another record peak. The economy had suffered 2 successive quarters of slight contraction in the second half of last year, meeting the technical definition of a recession on the back of elevated inflation and the cost of living crisis. However, Labour Finance spokesperson Rachel Reeves slammed the government's stewardship of the economy, which has been blighted by the cost of living crunch. Now to international tidbits. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle on Friday arrived in Nigeria for the 72-hour tour. The couple arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport aboard a British Airways flight. The flight, which arrived around 5 a.m., was delayed because of a sick pilot. The Duchess of Sussex had flown into Heathrow yesterday to meet up with her husband at the airport's VIP Windsor suite. This is the first time Harry and Meghan are visiting Nigeria together. Other travelers were held back while they were escorted off into a waiting blacked-out minibus. South Africa's top court was hearing an appeal on Friday to our former president, Jacob Zuma, declared ineligible to stand for office in a politically charged legal showdown set to raise tension between the tightest election in decades. Zuma, confronting Mikonto Wi-Suze, a new opposition party that has become a potential disruptor in the May 29 general ballot, but electoral authorities have argued that the crop-tainted politician should be barred from the race because of a 2021 contempt of court conviction. The Constitutional Court in Johannesburg is called to decide on the matter after a lower court sided Zuma in April, coming only weeks before what is expected to be the most competitive vote since the advent of democracy in 1994. The case has made some observers nervous. Zuma's jailing in 2021 triggered a wave of arrests, riots and looting that left more than 350 people dead. The court eventually dismissed the application, providing no motivation. Britons are set to bathe in sizzling temperatures this weekend as Met Office forecasts predict high of 27 Celsius before thunderstorm and heavy downpours strike the UK. The glorious weather is expected to take a turn on Sunday afternoon as the Met Office issue a yellow weather warning. More unsettled weather is expected next week when low pressures begin to gather at the end of the week. The yellow weather warning for thunderstorm remain in place from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. A spokesperson for the Met Office said heavy showers and thunderstorms are likely to break out in the south of this area late Sunday morning and early Sunday afternoon, moving steadily north whilst growing into larger areas of rain before clearing the area. Southern England will see temperatures of 25 degrees Celsius on Friday, with temperatures reaching 26 degrees Celsius on Saturday and possibly 27 degrees Celsius on Sunday. Australian government on Friday said it will set up an inquiry into the influence of social media in the country. Michelle Rowland, the Minister for Communications, Stephen Jones, Assistant Treasurer, and Minister for Finance Services said the plan to establish a joint preliminary committee to examine and report on the impact of social media in Australia. The government expects the new committee to conduct inquiries into the spread of illegal and harmful content on social media, how algorithms influence what Australians see and the impact of that content on mental health, and the decision by Meta to stop paying Australian media companies for news content. The committee will have the power to compel witnesses, including social media company executives, to attend hearings. Roland said that the committee will hold social media companies more accountable and transparent. And now, international entertainment news. Nigerian singer David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, hinted that he might not produce another album after his next one. Davido disclosed this while reacting to the recent pictures and videos doctored against him by some blogs. Recall that the unavailable crooner has been in the news lately due to his online feud with his colleague Ayodeji Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid. He claimed that some persons desperately want him out of the music industry. Davido recently stated that since he entered the industry, many of his colleagues have not experienced peace of mind. He also announced that the visuals would mark the end of the Timeless Era, one of the standard tracks from the Grammy-nominated album, released in March 2023. Nollywood star Eniola Badmus has bagged a federal appointment and is set to work with the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nigeria, Tajuddin Abbas. According to reports, Eniola Badmus was appointed by Tajuddin Abbas as a special assistant for social events and public hearings. Clips from the swearing in and when Eniola Badmus was given an appointment letter emerged online and went viral on Friday. The actress is among the most vocal Nollywood stars who supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidential ambition. Recall that Eniola Badmus was constantly bullied and trolled online by netizens for supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. American celebrity couple Hailey and Justin Bieber have announced that they are expecting their first child together. The couple flaunted Hailey's baby bump in matching Instagram post. They tagged each other in the Instagram caption as a 27-year-old model dressed in a long white lace dress with a veil-like scarf wrapped around her head cradled her belly bump. The representative for Hailey Bieber confirmed that the model is over 6 months pregnant. Justin Bieber, 30, has been vocal about his desire to have children with Hailey in social media posts. The couple got married in secret ceremony in New York in 2018. Here now is ATN Sport News. Former Super Eagles winger Sonny Aluko has announced his retirement from football. Aluko, 35, announced his retirement from the round leather game during Ipswich Town end-of-season dinner. Aluko enjoyed an eventful career that saw him play for clubs like Rangers, Aberdeen, Hull City, Fulham, and Reading. He also had a loan stint in China with Benjamin Rennie. The talented winger represented England at youth level before switching international allegiance to Nigeria. He scored twice in 7 appearances for the Super Eagles. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has told Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli to do their talking on the pitch. The two Brazilian forwards have found playing time hard to come by, with Leonardo Trossard, Kai Havertz, and Bukayo Saka emerging as Arteta's preferred frontline. Arsenal, who are 1 point clear at the top of the Premier League table, are away to Manchester United this Sunday. FIFA on Friday strenuously denied imposing its scheduling for the 2025 Club World Cup amid the threat of legal actions from unions. In a letter to the World League's organization and FIF-PRO, Matthias Grafson, Secretary General of the World Football's governing body, insisted that they had consulted widely on the new international calendar. On Thursday, the leagues and unions have called on FIFA to reschedule the 32-team Club World Cup due to be staged between June 13th and July 15th next year or face legal action. A letter sent by the WLA and FIF-PRO, the International Players Union of FIFA President Gianni Infantino, claimed the sport's worldwide schedule is now beyond saturation. Grafton and FIFA is like any other competition organizer and fully within our right to set the parameters of our competitors while respecting the regulatory framework in place. He also took an AIM domestic league such as the Premier League, organizing summer competitions. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at our major stories. APC says Fubara actions fueling impeachment. Zulum advocates revival of Sambisa forest. Rep Issa Dongoyaru dies at 46. IMF urges federal government to regulate crypto trading. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle arrive in Nigeria. Davido hints on retirement from music. Arteta warns players over Man U clash. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening. You can follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic Television Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara.